I got a letter today from somebody asking a question about selecting speakers and an amplifier. Let me read it to you. It comes to us from Manmeet Singh, and he asks, "Hi, I recently came across your video about the Ohm speaker upgrade experience. Thank you for sharing your experience and thought process. I am considering getting my first pair of Ohms, specifically looking at the 2000 series due to the size of the room. Noticed you have a ton of experience with amplifiers, so I thought I would reach out to get some tips about which amps would pair nicely with the Ohm 2000s. Would love to hear your thoughts. My experience with hi-fi is limited to reading reviews online and YouTube. With work and family obligations, it's been difficult to audition in person. My research has taken me down so many different rabbit holes, I am a bit lost for what I am looking for." Understandable. What I want is simply a good quality speaker that will deliver an engaging listening experience that makes you stop looking at your phone and lean into the music and reach for the next track. So my short list included the following speakers, and I feel like these are so different from each other, at least based on what I have read and heard from others, and I can't make up my mind. Okay, so on his list he has a Burkhardt S400 Mark II stand mount, Magnepan LRS Plus little ribbon speakers. He says that's a 4 to 6 month wait. The Ohm Walsh 2000, and he says that's an 8 to 12 week wait. And Zoo Audio Dirty Weekend 6. Never even heard of these speakers, to be honest with you. And 5, he notes, even looked at the active speaker range by Burkhardt, the A700, which apparently is a floor stander. Apologies for the lengthy email. Would welcome any feedback or recommendations you may have based on your listening experience. Cheers. Okay, well, cheers to you, Manmeet. Let me see if I can answer your question. First of all, I haven't actually heard the Ohm 2000 series, so it's hard for me to give you advice on that particular speaker, nor have I heard the other speakers on the list. And as far as amplifiers, all I can tell you is that the truth is most modern amplifiers really sound exactly the same. Building a good amplifier at this point, the industry has down to a science. So I encourage you not to fall for the hype. Just pick a good quality, well-engineered amp that fits the impedance and wattage requirements for your speaker. If your speaker is rated for 4 ohms, for example, you've got to make sure that the amp can drive down into those lower impedances. But again, most modern, well-engineered amplifiers are going to be able to drive just about any speaker. So another consideration is wattage. You got to make sure that the amp is going to be able to provide enough power to drive the speaker safely at the volume that you like to listen. And this is going to be greatly affected by the efficiency of the speaker. A lower efficiency speaker is just going to require more power. And I made a video about this that I think can really help you out to help understand what sensitivity means and how much power you need, and just in general tips about how to select audio components, and I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, so getting back to the speakers. Unlike amplifiers, speakers really do sound vastly different from one another. And the sound that I prefer may not be the sound that you prefer. So always take speaker reviews with a grain of salt. In fact, take all audio reviews with a huge grain of salt. Humans are incredibly susceptible to bias, and often we hear what we want to hear. And there are so many people making outrageous claims about how amplifiers and CD players and cables sound so different from each other. When the truth is, if put to the test using a double-blind study, these people would never be able to detect these differences they supposedly hear. Listen, there's a huge psychological element to listening to hi-fi that few of us really want to admit. And further, our memory for hearing is just notoriously atrocious. None of us can really remember well enough what one piece of gear sounds like to compare it to something that we're listening to at the moment. So obviously my advice with speakers is to audition them if you can. And I know, as you said, this can be very difficult because there are fewer and fewer places where you can actually go to audition speakers these days. And the truth is, even back in the day when I could go audition speakers, most showrooms weren't optimized acoustically to be able to really hear the speakers at their best. And the other problem is that we often can't acoustically optimize our own listening rooms to help speakers sound their best. The sound of speakers is incredibly influenced by the room that they're in. So listen, if you can't audition speakers, make sure whoever you buy from has a really good return policy. And my understanding is that's the case with Ohm. Try the speakers out in your own room for a couple of weeks. If you like them, keep them. If not, send them back. Okay, Mamit, good luck with your search. I hope that answers your questions. If you have any specific questions about a product, please feel free to write me back and I'll do my best to respond. And that goes for all of you as well. Any questions? Let me know. Looking for a shiny new gadget for your bench? Some good books on electronics, vintage hi-fi or old radios? Indispensable tools, cleaners or other products? Check out my new Amazon shop and help the channel. Lots of great products I actually own, use, and recommend, plus my thoughts on each one. Link in the description. To stay updated, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you soon.